Now let's talk about Active Directory and Exchange. This is something that's fundamental, and you need to pay close attention to this. First of all, to really design an Exchange organization properly and get your email working properly, you need to have an understanding of Active Directory. This is another instance where you've gotten into some sort of computer situation and you're trying to learn something and now you're told you got to learn something else. Welcome to the crowd. Keep on reading, right? Active Directory is the directory service that's used now by the Windows operating system, and you need to understand how Exchange uses Active Directory and how Active Directory works to be able to make Exchange do what you want it to do. There is a cooperation between the Active Directory administrator and the Exchange administrator that is not only just required, it's absolutely necessary. So if you're the Exchange administrator and you're not the Active Directory administrator, I would strongly suggest you go find that Active Directory administrator and take him or her to lunch today and make friends with them, because you guys are going to have to be doing a lot of work together. And we'll talk about why as we go through the course. Here's the bottom line. All your Exchange information is stored in Active Directory. Active Directory, as it turns out, is nothing more than a database that has a list, or the contents of this database is all the users and computers and printers in the entire environment, in our entire domain or group of domains, our entire organization. And by having this list all in one place, we can now connect to these people, send email messages to them, and so forth. Active Directory is built by Windows 2000 or Windows 2003. Exchange simply says, hey, let me add some information into that, and you keep up with mailboxes and mailbox information as well. And Active Directory says, okay, let's do it. This means there is no Exchange directory service. Now, those of you who worked with Exchange 5.5, you remember there was a directory service in Exchange. That's no longer there. Exchange uses Active Directory. Now, when it comes to mailbox administration, you need to understand that most of our mailbox administration, again, is done in Active Directory. When we install Exchange, it simply adds a couple of more columns to the database in Active Directory. And it now says, oh, hey, wait a minute. Not only is this person a user in Active Directory, this person is a user in Active Directory who has a mailbox. And we want to put limits on this mailbox, how many megabytes of space they can take up on the disk. We want to keep up with their location, different permissions on this particular mailbox. All that gets stored in Active Directory as well. The location of the mailbox, which server it's on, which site it's in, and so forth, is kept in Active Directory. One of the great advantages of this is Active Directory's replication. When we install Windows Server, either 2000 or 2003, Active Directory is installed, it's populated, and it begins to automatically replicate information around to all the other domain controllers. Now, I'm going to give you a brief overview of Active Directory in the upcoming video, so just hang in here with me a second. But this information is automatically being passed around everybody in our entire organization. So when we begin to add mailbox information to that, it automatically begins to travel around the organization, and now every server has knowledge of where everybody else's mailbox and particular user object is located. Another advantage of Active Directory is security. Once we've handled security issues in Active Directory, then that means those security issues have been handled in Exchange, because Exchange is now part of Active Directory. When Active Directory is replicated, it's replicated in an encrypted environment, it's in a safe environment, and it's reliable. And so by adding our Exchange information to that, we have kind of slain those dragons all at once at the same time. So Active Directory and Exchange are required. Exchange cannot be loaded unless Active Directory is in place. Why? Because we're going to extend Active Directory, add our Exchange information in there, and then begin to use that as our directory service. So in the next couple of videos, I'm going to give you an extremely quick, maybe a 10-minute overview on Active Directory so you'll understand the terminologies and so forth. Let me stop you right here. If you don't understand Active Directory, don't even attempt to mess with Exchange. You need to educate yourself on Active Directory, maybe take a course, maybe get the VTC series from Bill Ferguson, excellent series on Active Directory and Windows 2000 and so forth, and get to know Active Directory. It's going to help you tremendously in your Exchange implementations. So let's go take a look at some Active Directory basics next.